At Arizona State University, we're bringing world-class education from our globally acclaimed faculty to you. Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Learn more at asuonline.asu.edu.
I earned my degree online at Arizona State University. I chose to get my degree at ASU because I knew that I'd get a quality education, they were recognized for excellence, and that I would be prepared for the workforce upon graduating. To be associated with ASU, both as a student and alum, it makes me extremely proud, and having experienced the program, I know now that I'm set up for success. Learn more at asuonline.asu.edu.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Is This Adulting, a weekly conversation between two best friends navigating adulthood as overgrown man-children. I'm best friend number one, Stephen Pappas.
And I'm best friend number two, Chris Grimmett. I almost interrupted you, my bad.
Interrupting best friend number two, Chris Grimmett.
I'm sorry, I was just...
And
I'm Chris... Nope, never mind, sorry.
No,
Sorry,
I know you really
that?
want everybody to know who you are, and I understand that, but
Yep.
give me my moment.
Okay.
Give me my moment.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Sorry. So, what's your week been like this week? You been having a good week?
Yeah, it's been pretty good overall. I went and hung out with some friends this weekend, and then I ended up the weekend by hanging out with my family because, you know, it's Easter week. Maybe we should do that again
Right.
because I took my leg, knocked the desk really hard, and made a big loud noise on my end.
That's up to you. I like it. I think we leave it in.
Okay. Hey, you're getting a peek behind the curtain this week here at Is This Adulting?
Sometimes we're going to knock desks with our knees. It's just how it is.
Yeah, clearly it was a good weekend, though, because I was, like, spinning like a little kid on my my chair, and I was like, I had a pretty good weekend, and then I just, like, knocked half my table over, so
You
my
seemed
bad.
really excited about it.
Yeah, I know. How was your week?
It was good. No, it was good. Did the family thing yesterday for the weekend. Mostly it was good, but there was one thing that was bad.
Oh, really?
And that is on Saturday, I'm sitting in my house. I'm enjoying, a nice, I was going to say cup of coffee, but it was like middle of the day. It was not a cup of coffee. I was just sitting there watching TV.
Okay.
And Katie comes running into the house, and there's a snake in our wood bin.
Shut
and
up.
she doesn't know what kind of snake it is. And so we have a big dog that runs around the yard all the time. We need to make sure it's not venomous.
Yes.
So me being the big scaredy cat I am, because I'm terrified of snakes, I have to like put on my boots. I don't own boots. I put on tennis shoes. I put on my tennis shoes, and I have to walk out there. And our neighbor comes from next door. She's also deathly afraid of snakes. And for an hour and a half, she just watched and laughed as I panicked because we backed this snake into a corner. And I know some people really love snakes, and I'm sorry. I can't stand them. And so, like, my goal was to kill the snake, even though it turns out it was just a black snake. Which I know I should leave alive because they eat other venomous snakes and rats and all that. But it was freaking me out, and
Sure.
I had backed it into a corner, so it was striking at me and all sorts of scary stuff. But
I'm
he
real.
got away.
You backed it into a corner? How?
Well, it was in the wood bin, and we kept slowly clearing wood out with a shovel and like waiting and unveiling it more until finally it coiled up and started striking at us.
Oh my God, that
And
sounds
so
horrific.
Eventually, it just climbed over the wood bin, and I was too scared to like actually kill it because the thing is, like, I feel bad doing that because I know it's not there to hurt me. So I just kind of let it go. Also, I was really more scared than anything. But
I mean,
it got away.
You're
and
better
so
than
it's
me.
living
I would have
somewhere now.
literally have just boarded up the wood bin and said, "This is now the snakes. We will
Oh,
never
I told
be
Katie
here again."
we should set fire to the shed. Like, I was like, let's just burn the thing to
Seriously.
the ground. Like, I don't.
My gosh. So when you were
Or
like
move.
chasing it around, I just imagine. So if you're playing N64 back in the day, there was the
Right.
Super Mario, of course, and there's that one
course.
point where he goes down into like the watery basement dungeon area and just chases the bunny over and over. So I just imagine you just like running around chasing it for like an hour.
Oh, I know the bunny really well, Chris. Why don't you tell everybody why I know the Mario bunny so well?
Well, it's because I like to reenact that run from time to time that Mario does, because he's not like just running at it. It's like, I don't know how to explain this in an audio form. His hands are like his arms are extended out, but instead of his palms facing upward, they're turned like what am I trying to describe, Steven? Like
it's almost like he's cupping his hands.
Yeah, cupping his hands, and I mean, looking kind of like he's trying to grab the bunny's tushy, kind of, and just running with arms extended, squeezing his hands over and over. And it's a really, really creepy run. But, I mean, back in the day, I used to have a lot of fun with it, and I would chase Steven just like that. And he didn't like that one bit.
No, not at all. It scared the hell out of me. So, Anyway, while we actually get into the show, we have some housekeeping this week, actually. Got to do the housekeeping.
Okay.
Because we were bad and forgot to do it last show. There were a couple things I forgot to bring up. So, first of all, on the first and second episode, there were polls that we put out via Twitter and Facebook regarding different casts and Friends teams. And I'm just going to need to read you those. I think the results will both surprise us and surprise no one.
Okay.
So, first episode, when we drafted our Friends class, I think we all knew going in. I mean, I had Chandler. I was going to win.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, though, you did manage to get 25% of the vote.
Hey, you know what? I think it was because I really, really gave a compelling case for Monica.
You did. I was surprised. But with 75% of the vote, I did win that one. Now, Star Wars cast.
Okay.
Star Wars cast, granted, the majority of people who have talked to me have been telling me that the main reason they picked your team was Bernie Sanders as Yoda.
Yeah, of course.
Which I think was your best decision. Although a close runner-up when people have talked to me has been DJ Roomba and Aziz Ansari.
I know. I was so proud of that one.
But The Rock and Kevin Hart got me further than either one of us expected.
Yeah, okay.
And so, it's not as close as I'm making it sound, probably. You did win by a pretty big margin. But I managed to get almost 40% of the vote.
Yeah, that is impressive.
So you got 63, I got 37. So
that's
surprisingly, I thought you would get 100% of the vote on that one because multiple people responded, yes, his answers were the worst. He's the worst. Get him off the show.
I mean, your answers were kind of like if someone took sleepy time tea and just passed out. That's how boring your first couple answers were. But luckily,
you're a nerd
you
hater.
kind of recovered a little bit.
No, you're a nerd hater, and you're going to really hate me come a little later.
All right, whatever.
So that's just some housekeeping that I thought we needed to get into. And so let's, even though we've been going for a minute, start off, quote unquote, just like we do every week with a mental health check-in. How's your mental health been this week?
You know, the last couple weeks, it seems like it's been especially gloomy for both of us.
Right.
And surprisingly, at the end of the day, I feel like my week was pretty good. I was able to spend a lot of time catching up, like on the phone with some friends that honestly I hadn't talked to in years. It just kind of happened to come up that way, and then I got to spend some time this weekend with family and friends. And you know, even though I did have some pretty stressful moments over just whatever kind of basic things that happened in the day, I'm going to say that it was a really good, just peaceful, kind of healing week in some ways. So I had a good time overall. How about you?
Awesome. So, no bullshit. This week has been great.
Woo! Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
For the first time since we started the show, every week it's like, here's my mental health check-in. Let's cut over to Steven. And I'm over here being Eeyore, like, well, everything's the worst and I hate everybody. Things have been good. The same day we recorded the last episode, had a doctor's appointment, adjusted some doses. I'm a lot more tired because the stuff I'm on is a little stronger and I'm taking it more often, but I am also a lot more chill. I still have probably one time a day where I get real anxious and I start to freak out, but I'm able to like bring it down, get it back under control usually.
That's awesome.
Popping less of the panic pills that I have to take if I'm having an issue. So overall, it has been kind of awesome. So I am not going to complain about that, not one bit.
What do we even do now? I feel like
I know,
we have
right?
never had both of us having a pretty awesome week. And so I don't even know how to move forward with this. So
we've done it. We've solved mental health. So
yes.
Actually, God, that's not true. That is not true. Nobody take that out of context, because I think we've both got a long way to go, and it is a lifelong thing. We will never solve it.
We had 2 steps forward this week. There's a decent chance we'll eventually take a step back, but we're going to celebrate the wins, because that's what you have to do, man.
You gotta hope so, man. The wins, it's good to be on the high from the win. So just not think about the low that may be coming.
But hey, let's also just say we're super excited that we've had a good week. But we also want to acknowledge that there are probably some of you listening that didn't have the same situation. I mean, at the end of the day, whether you're religious or not, this weekend was a holiday where families and friends usually get together, and for some, that's going to bring up some pain as well. And so we want to acknowledge and give you support for all of you that may not have had such a good week.
Right. Absolutely. Please write in if you want to share any of that with us as well. I know firsthand that can be tough. Yesterday was the first major holiday without my dad. And it wasn't until I saw the family picture we took at the end of the night that I had a moment where I was like, oof, like that's different. But I wasn't going to let that, take down the good week that I had, but I know that that's not the case for everybody. So as always, if you have something you want to share, you want to do a mental health check-in with us, you can give us an idea of how to encourage you, or you just want to talk about something with someone. We're not licensed therapists, but please send us an email over at isthisadultingpod@gmail.com. We are always available to talk about this sort of stuff.
Yeah, definitely. All right, we're going to transition into something a little bit different. And so I'm going to need to channel my sound effect making, which has definitely been a solid thing so far, right?
Oh, do your wind chimes again. I'm excited.
Well, I am definitely not going to do that, especially after this weekend. I heard some wind chimes and just recognized how bad they were the sound effect I did earlier. So I'm going to attempt now for everyone a news alert sound effect. So are you ready?
Ready.
Breaking news. How was that?
Better.
It sounded a little bit like Jock Jams, which is not what I was going for.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know what? I'm going to go with it. So with that, let's play a little game, Steven. Are you ready?
I am ready. Just to preface, I have no clue what's about to happen.
Perfect. Oh. Do you hear that?
I do hear that. What are you doing?
I'm about to do a new impression.
Oh, God.
It's called Game Show Host. Hello, and welcome to our newest game show, News or False, where I, your host, Chris Grimmett, look at a strange and interesting news story that's happened in our world this week, and we try and see if our old pal Steven can tell which was actually news and which was false. How you doing, Steven? We're so glad to have you on. Are you ready to play?
Yes.
There we go. That wasn't much
There's that excitement.
What I was expecting, but I'm going to go with it anyway. All right. We're so excited for this week. This week, everyone, our theme is going to be stories based on animals.
Ooh.
Oh, thanks, crowd. I appreciate it. You can keep going. Oh, stop. Okay, I got a little bit too excited with sound effects. I'll keep going.
You're having too much fun with those.
All right. First story, we're going to go in the news. You have to tell me, Steven, if it is news or if it's false. The tagline reads this: Meet the man with 7,000 bug ornaments collection. Here's the story. Eccentric Lawrence Cobalt is 43, and he has filled his home with 7,000 items related to insects, and he doesn't plan to stop there. So, Steven, is this news or false?
I would like to argue that there is not a person out there named Lawrence Cobalt, so I'm going to say that that's false.
Which one is it? Congratulations! Actually, I was kind of tricky in this one because here is the actual news story. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Meet the man with 20,000 bird ornaments. Here's the story.
Gross.
This, by the way, this guy's name is actually Lawrence Cobalt.
Oh, God.
Eccentric Lawrence Cobalt is 43, and he has filled his home, 3 sheds, and his garage with 20,000 items, and he doesn't plan to stop. So I'm going to send you a quick link. Maybe we can put this in the show notes later for anyone else who wants to see the most birds in the history of the world. Yeah, so Stephen, I'm going to need you to click on that link real fast and look at some of these pictures because his collection is worth, as they say, 50 to 60,000 pounds, which I don't know the exact conversion rate, but I'm thinking it's probably close to $100,000 US.
Yeah, roughly.
Yeah.
What? Whoa, what? Okay. So first off, this is better than I thought.
Yes.
Still terrifying, but I was expecting them to be real birds that he had stuffed and just lived in his house, and I was so terrified.
No, it's not that creepy.
Of the pictures I was about to see. But no, this is, oh my God.
You got to keep
This
scrolling,
is something
man.
insane.
It does not stop.
I mean, there are parts of it that look like super metal, like like eagles and falcons.
Yeah.
And then it's just like,
And then there's like
here's a room full of
hummingbird
owl
paintings.
plates.
Yeah. It's a very interesting collection that he has got here.
It's the most refrigerator magnets I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, he has 1,000 refrigerator magnets.
Jeez.
And what I don't get is when you're looking at some of these magnets, they're pretty much the exact same thing, just the same bird on the same stick in slightly different head tilts, and he's got 8 of those. But I mean, hey, to each their own. If this is what you like, this is what you like. But I don't even know, how does he hang out in this house? I mean, they're everywhere.
I don't know. I would not be comfortable with that. I would not be comfortable with that at all.
I know.
I feel like they'd all be watching me.
Exactly. Well, you've got 2 eyes constantly staring at you times 20,000. So if anyone wants to do the math, that's a good old 40,000 eagle eyes looking at you.
I'm really impressed that you did that math that fast.
What can I say? All right. So, Steven, are you ready for your next guess?
Guessed?
I said guess. I'm sorry. I said
okay,
it weird.
okay. I thought there was another
Don't make
guest.
fun
I
of
was
me.
like, Who's on?
I'm really excited about this. Don't make fun of me, okay?
Okay. I'm sorry. Go.
Okay.
Go. Yes, I'm ready.
Next news title is entitled Cat Island. Felines outnumber humans on Japan's island off the coast of southern Japan. An army of feral cats rules a remote island in southern Japan, outnumbering humans 6-1. Stephen, is this news or false?
That sounds like a nightmare, but I'm going to have to say that that's true.
Yeah! There is literally an island called
good.
Cat Island. Let me give you
Nope.
just a little bit of the description. Originally introduced to the mile-long island of Oshima to deal with mice that had plagued fishermen's boats, the cats stayed on and multiplied. More than 120 cats swarmed the small island with only a handful of humans. Actually, 22 humans to be exact. Let's see here. What's the next line? I lost. Okay. With no restaurants, cars, shops, or kiosks selling snacks, Oshima is no tourist haven. But the cat lovers are not complaining. Here's an exact quote. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
There's a tons of cats here. And then there was sort of this cat witch that came out and fed them. Which that was cool, says 27-year-old Makiyo Yamasaki. So I definitely want to come again. So apparently this is just a small island. There is a video that I am also going to send to you. We should definitely let other people look at this. It is obnoxious. I mean, it looks like the equivalent of Noah's Ark, but only cats and one person. And it's just very weird. So if you want to, at any point, go to Cat Island, there's a place for you. Are you looking at it yet?
Oof. Yes, that's terrifying. It's gross.
Yeah, it's 120 cats for 22 people, and they all live in this
I don't like that.
mile area. So it's definitely overwhelming. All right, finally, are you ready for this one, Stephen?
I'm ready.
Is your last one. You are so far 2 for 2, which is pretty impressive. Can you make it a
there's
perfect
my dog.
3 for 3?
hear
Well,
that?
this is a themed animal weekend. So what do you expect?
Well, he's probably upset about all the cats.
I know he's going to jump in on this. So,
Hush, we're talking about news.
thank you.
Okay, I'm good.
Final question. The news story reads as this. Arizona police chief swears in their newest officer, a drug-sniffing bearded dragon. Steven, is this news or is this false?
I'm going to say that's news.
You
I've
are
done
a 3 for 3. Oh my goodness.
I'm so good.
This is amazing. Yeah, let me just read to you a little bit about it. An Arizona police department shared photos from the swearing in of its newest and most unusual officer, Iro, the drug-sniffing lizard. Here's the quote from what they've said. Research has shown that reptiles possess a strong sense of smell, making their ability to detect certain illicit drugs possibly more accurate than even canines. Our pilot program of drug-sniffing bearded dragon will be assisting the officers in this city. Please welcome our newest officer, Iro. Oh, even has a hashtag. How funny is that?
That's kind of awesome. What's the hashtag?
It's not very good. Hashtag Iro Adventures. Oh, boo. Come on.
No.
You could have done something a little bit
Could
better.
Iro the Dragon? That's at least close to Spyro the Dragon.
I mean, there are so many things that you could come up with. Iro Adventures. Ugh. Okay, so Arizona Police Department, you got a little bit of a knock for that. But
Need to up their hashtag game.
exactly, that's what I was thinking. However, I will say this. That comes to the end of our first episode, or first show of News or False. We'll see you next time! But until then, good night! Oh.
That was...
I don't.
Oh,
why won't they
having
stop
trouble with
clapping?
sound effects?
Oh.
Oh, now you've done it. Now you've
This
done it.
app, it's definitely got some kinks in it. I'm gonna be honest with you. So my apologies.
No, a free iOS app has kinks?
Yeah, who would have thought?
Nah.
But all right. We've moved from that. We're gonna go to something a little bit different, and dare I say, a little bit tropical.
Goodness.
It's not playing. Why isn't it playing?
It's okay. What is that, a TIE fighter battle? What is happening?
I'm just sitting on the beach, man. What can you say? Just listening to those crashing waves and those creepy birds. That reminds me, I'm in the beach mood these days. I've been thinking about the beach, Steven. You know, with it
Have you?
being spring break for so many people. And I want to know your thoughts about the good old beach. Whoa, that was an abrupt stop. My apologies.
It was. There you
I'm
go.
not good with sound
Beach
effects.
over.
So many people have told me how bad I am at them that I was trying to make it fun and add some new stuff, but I'm not even good at pressing the
Overcompensating a
button
little.
for sound effects.
That's all right. I don't think they'll hold it against you. I can't talk
I
today.
know.
I'm broken.
So anyway, Steven, with that, tell me, what are some of your favorite and least favorite things about the beach? Let's start with favorite.
Okay. It is no secret, first off, that I'm not a huge beach fan.
I know.
But
That's why I wanted to talk
there are
about
things
it.
about the beach that I really, really like.
Okay.
So number one is just the overall atmosphere of the beach. Like, I like the beach. I don't like the beach. That's what I explain to people. Like, I like the beach atmosphere, the beach feeling. I don't like the actual, like, shore.
Wait, what?
Like beach houses, like renting bikes, going to little like candy shops and like arcades and stuff. Like, I like that, and like sitting on the deck of a beach house with a cold beer and just like looking at the ocean. I'm just like, that's amazing. I'm super down with
Okay.
that. I also really like seafood.
Yeah.
So like fresh seafood everywhere. Like when we honeymooned in Hawaii because we got really lucky and were given an opportunity that we could never have afforded to do ourselves.
You're making it sound like
And,
we honeymooned in Hawaii, and that makes me
Me
sad.
and Chris,
'cause it's
yeah,
like,
when we honeymooned
I would have
in
gladly
Hawaii.
honeymooned with you, but now you're just bragging, and it made it sound like I went, but I didn't. God, keep talking about
No,
seafood.
I'm sorry, it wasn't Chris. No, but like the food there is like, oh, we're at the beach all the time, so fresh seafood. Or if we go to the coast, fresh seafood is like all I eat, which I really, really like. And then lastly, if I had a top three, I don't know that this is the last of the top three. It might have to be number one. the mini golf at the beach is always on point.
Of course it is. Yes, that was
Like,
one of mine.
I mean, there is nowhere else, like maybe Gatlinburg, Tennessee, which is essentially just the beach in the mountains.
Yeah.
But that's the only other place where you can just every corner. There's a mini golf place with a fire-breathing dragon and a whirlpool that sucks your ball into the next hole. It's just, it's amazing. So yeah, there are things I really do enjoy about the beach.
No, I'm with you. Like putt-putt was the number one thing for me. Whenever I think about the beach, I think about going on those sweet links and just putting that ball through a clown's mouth or like an animal's foot or whatever it might be. Those are the two specific courses I go to. I love the ones that have like gigantic volcanoes, or like one I think of has like this plane that is supposed to look like it's crashed and there's like this mist everywhere, and it's just, oh man, it is so good. Are you any good at putt-putt though?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. I'm not going to lie. Me and Katie on our first anniversary trip, not Chris and I's first anniversary trip, I specified this time. On our first anniversary trip, we went to 6 different putt-putt places, and we kept a running tally of who won overall over the weekend. I only won by one game because she's really good too. But we were sinking some pretty sweet hole-in-ones. Like we're actually both pretty good at it. Are you any good?
Yeah, I think I'm decent. It kind of depends on the day though. And I feel like I have this goal in my life, and this sounds pretty basic, but I just want to be able to be like at par by the end of the game. And for those who aren't familiar with that, like that verbiage, that basically means either a 2 or under for the entire hole. Like you can possibly have like a 3 on one hole, but then you'd have to do a hole-in-one to balance it out. I want to be able to be exactly that, which I've gotten close, but I've never quite been there before. So that's my sad little goal that I have made for my life, but that's something I'm desperately going to do one day.
I can relate to that.
Okay, so here's some of my favorite things about the beach.
Okay.
One, is putt-putt, like you said. Just for clarification, though, since you explained that you like the beach, but you don't like specifically the part that 99% of people like. I do love the beach. I used to hate the beach for a long time. A lot of that has to do when you're kind of a chunky fella growing up. It's not the best place to go for your insecurities, let's just say. But over time, I started to really, really love the beach. Everything about it for the most part. And so some of the things I really, really love. Putt-putt, also bocce ball, if you've ever played that, is on the beach. Pretty much, if you don't know what that is, you just take like a tiny ball, which is intended to be like the target, and you throw it somewhere on the beach, and then everyone else has to try and see who can get the closest. So I love that a whole lot. I like reading on the beach and other type of things, but here are my top 2 favorite beach things, okay?
Okay.
1, ice cream. There's just something about going and getting ice cream while you're at the beach, which is kind of part of like the whole environment thing that you're saying. It's, it's after you've been to the beach for the whole day. Sure, it's cool to go to the grocery store and get a tub, but there's just something nice about getting like 18 free samples, and then in my case, I like to get a bunch of free samples, even though I know what I'm gonna get beforehand, just to get a little bit of that extra treat, and so hanging out, usually when it's like nighttime and it's really cold, or not cold, but like, like the breeze is going and the sun is not bearing down on you. So I love that. And then here's my favorite thing about the beach. And I don't know if this is going to make sense, so kind of follow me here, okay?
Okay.
It's what I'm calling the after the beach shower feeling. Do you get what I'm saying?
No.
Okay. So, like, you've been on the beach forever, how long for that day? And you come back, you take a shower, especially if you're taking, like, an outdoor shower. Those are the best. And then, like, you're chilling. You're, like, extra tired because you've been out in the sun and you've been doing stuff, and so you've been really, like, just a lot of your energy is drained. You take a shower so you're, like, nice and clean, and you're just like chilling. And that like after you've been at the beach shower is without a doubt my favorite thing about the beach. Like if I could have that feeling every time that I took a shower, I would be the cleanest man on this earth. I'm just going to say it right here, right now. And do you know at all what I'm referring to now? You're kind of looking at me weird.
I do. No, I do. I got you. I feel you.
Do you like that?
No.
No? What?
No.
What?
No.
But you hate the beach. If anything, it makes sense that you would like that part because you're like, good, I got to clean off all that crap that I hate.
But that requires having that crap happen in the first place.
Oh, okay.
See, that's going to bring me into the things that I hate about the beach.
All right, let's go.
Okay, if I could have the beach without these three things,
Oh, gosh.
I would be happy. And those three things are the sun, the sand, and the ocean.
Oh, my Lord.
Because the thing is, like, okay, sand, first of all, no one likes sand. Like, sand, to quote the wonderful performance by Hayden Christensen in Star Wars Episode 2, it's coarse and it's rough and it gets everywhere. And that's exactly how that line was delivered. Terribly. Which I apologize because I know Hayden's a listener. But,
Hayden Christensen?
yes, Hayden Christensen. What's up? What else is he doing?
Yeah, I guess so.
But I know sand is gross. It's gritty. It gets all over the place. You can't get it out. Even after your little outdoor showers, I'm still finding sand for weeks, like in my hair and other regions.
Okay.
And nobody likes that. Okay. So then you got the ocean, which I'm convinced is just trying to kill all of us.
Okay.
Because things live in there. Anytime a piece of seaweed brushes my foot, I'm just like, nope, hell no, I'm out. Like, I'm running. I don't want to mess with it. I can't swim really well, so I don't like water. I'm afraid of like riptides and freaking sharks even, and like just little stuff, jellyfish, like all that. The water's gross. It gets in your eyes. It burns. It's not that fun. And then the sun, I'm a Pappas man. We're notoriously known for, my uncle wrapped a weed eater around a tree because he got too hot doing yard work one day.
Jeez.
Like, we do not like heat. And so you put me out in the sun on sand with the ocean coming and the tide's coming. It's coming for me. It wants me. It wants me dead. I have no interest in that whatsoever. So I'm going to stay back at the beach house and watch Netflix while everybody else goes to the beach. And then I'll hang out and do the nightlife stuff.
Okay.
But not like fun nightlife, because let's be honest, I'm an old man in a young person's body, so I don't go out to bars or anything.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just go to arcades.
Okay. I do get what you're saying. So this is what I'm going to say. It's kind of interesting. Those are the three things that you said, because my three least favorite things are kind of variations of that. All right.
Okay.
So the first one, my least favorite thing about the beach is sunscreen/sunburn.
Okay.
Like, obviously, I don't want to get sunburned because that's the worst thing in the entire world. And so you have to put on sunscreen, and I put it on because I'm supposed to. But one, the constant reminder of it. Two, like, you have the two options. You have either the spray, which, although is more helpful, it's still cold. So every time you're putting it on, you're like, oh my gosh, you just get like chills. Or you put on the lotion version, which, okay, what's your thoughts on the lotion version of sunscreen?
You lived with me long enough to know my thoughts on lotion in general.
Okay, so that still applies.
I don't do lotion. It's super greasy. I don't like it. Makes me feel slimy. I hate it, dude. Like, I have tattoos. I don't lotion them or sunscreen them like I'm supposed to, because I'm just like, no, feels weird.
It just feels like you're putting like a thick coat of something greasy all over your body, and it doesn't leave for days. So, yeah.
Right.
So I don't love sunscreen, even though I do like its protection. Like, so here's one fun story, because I always get burnt with sunscreen on, which is what makes me more upset, because I feel the equivalent of get your flu shot, because otherwise you're going to get the flu. And whenever I get a flu shot, that's when I get the flu. And when I don't, then I don't. And the same is true, I feel, with sunscreen. I'll put it on, and one of the most famous examples in my past was, I took the spray because I like the spray more, and I started spraying all over my like chest and my back and legs and stuff. And then later that day, I came back, and it was clear that I had made like a Z on my chest from the almost like a Zorro, and then there were parts that were just like a tomato and the other parts that were like super pasty, and it hurt so bad putting on a shirt, but doing anything. And so overall, that's why I don't like sunscreen. And so that's kind of a variation of sun. My next one, I would entitle Unwelcome Guest, which are crabs and sharks and jellyfish and all of the fun things in the ocean. Now, don't get me wrong. One could argue, Chris, aren't you the unwelcome guest since you're kind of going into their home? And that would be a pretty good argument that I can't really disagree with. However, I want them to have like 95% of the ocean. Can you give us just like 5? Just that part right up close. Now, for sharks, I guess that's specifically why they want to come here, because that's free food. But that's the part that just drives me crazy. I am freaked out by crabs or anything touching my feet. And just like you with the seaweed, there are times where you'll be hanging out in the water and all of a sudden you're just like, what in the world is that? And you kind of flip out, and then you start running and everyone thinks there's a shark. And then you realize that was just seaweed, or that was just like a water bottle or something that brushed against you. And then you look really dumb. So I'm not a big fan of all of the unwelcome guests that attend your beach party, but that's just part of it, I guess. And finally, I'm glad that you brought up one of these, because I'm with you on this. I don't like sand. Not in the way that you don't like sand. Like, I really do like
the logical way.
I do like sand in a lot of ways on the beach. But I don't like sand when it gets in all the wrong places.
That's my biggest argument.
Yeah, which I said, which is the valid part. And it seems like you also don't like sand in other ways as well. But
yeah.
But so okay, I apologize, ladies, if you're listening, because I'm sure you have a similar experience in this. But there's just something horrible about, especially if you have like a wet bathing suit, and sand gets into some really inappropriate places that I'm not going to talk about because we're not rated R here on this podcast.
Not yet.
And the sand begins to rub, and it's a painful experience. That's the best way to put it lightly. So anyone who has ever had sand in your no-nos, I'm just going to go that far, can explain to anyone who hasn't. It's one of the worst feelings in the world. And so that, I would say, those are my least favorite things about the beach. But at the end of the day, I deal with them all because I do love the beach, even though you're a monster.
Wait, what?
Yeah. I'm sorry. That wasn't the most easiest sentence that I've ever said, but it's the truth. I love the beach, and you're a monster. Those are kind of two different thoughts that I just combined together into one.
Just something you decided to tell me after all this time.
Yeah. I mean, I know you've always hated the beach, but it's still sad.
All right. Well, going off of something that you may not like as much that I love, kind of in the way that I don't like the beach, I want to talk about comic books.
All right.
I'm a big nerd. We've addressed this. It's going to come up. This will not be the only comic book discussion to ever be had. But I want to talk about one thing specifically today, and that is kind of twofold. The nerd culture explosion is something I kind of want to talk about. But I also want to talk about, why do people assume that all comic books are for children? And so, from an outsider's perspective, what is your view on them? Like, do you look at them and you're just like, oh, those are well, it's kind of childish. Those are for kids, or those are picture books, or what is kind of your take on them?
Yeah. So it will come to no surprise for some people that I don't read comic books. Not because I'm strongly against them necessarily. It's just I've never been super interested at any point in my life in them, like many people I know have. But at the same time, I feel like because I've had a lot of friends who really do love comic books, it's kind of helped me just understand what it is that they like about them and understand that they're not this horrible thing. But I would say, from the outsider's opinion, when I see someone reading a comic book or spending money on that, it seems to me just oh, that's an interesting thing. It's almost like if you're looking at nostalgic stuff, but for whatever reason, you just never stop being nostalgic, is what I would probably guess the outside opinion would be on that. Also, since so many of them are usually like superheroes and things like that, and that tends to be associated more with children liking them. I guess that's the reason why people think that. But I don't know. Tell me what it is that you love about them so much. I mean, my friends all love them.
Gosh, geez, how long you got?
I have
could
10
wax
minutes.
poetic for a while. You have how long? 2 minutes?
10 minutes.
10 minutes. Cool. I will try to keep it to that. No. I mean, when I was growing up, they opened a comic book shop up the road from my house. And I used to ride my bike up there with my backpack on. I'd take my $10 a week that I got for doing chores, and they would have quarter bins. And I would dig through the quarter bins and find 40 books. The guy wouldn't charge me tax. I was like a 12, 13-year-old kid. And I would get 40 books, ride back down the street, read them through the week, and then come back. I still have the very first one I ever bought for a quarter framed in one of our back bedrooms. It's worthless. Like it's worth like $2.50 on the resale market right now. But like, and that's $2.50. But for me, that thing is priceless because that's my first comic book. Like that's the first thing I read, and it got me into actually reading. Like I wasn't a big reader until I started reading comic books, which they've done studies and it proves it works both sides of your brain a little differently than just a regular book because it's visual in a different way than just text. So your brain is working in a different way than it does when you're reading a regular book or a novel or whatever. But for me, it's just a matter of I grew up with it, and there is some nostalgia to some of it. And some of it, a lot of it for me, though, is just the characters. And I think that that's why the nerd culture explosion, which maybe we should do that as another topic. In fact, I'm going to say we table that because that could be a whole nother topic. But I do think that that's one of the big reasons behind it is people are starting to look at these characters and realize like they're relatable characters. They're not just, and some of them are just the guy that dresses up in tights and saves the world. Superman has his alien powers and he couldn't be you. But why do you think everybody likes Batman? Because he's just a dude. His superpower is money. Mm-hmm. But like, he's just a guy. But then you get into independent comics, and that's really where I am interested. Like that's what I read the most of. I still read my Batman comic books because I'm a child, and I still read Nightwing comic books, which was Batman's first Robin. Dick Grayson grew up, wanted to get out of Batman's shadow, became his own hero, went to his own city, and became Nightwing. And comic books have actually helped me with characters like that deal with change in my life and watch the characters change and see how I was changing growing up. And I think that's one reason I latched on. But when you're looking at independence comics, sorry, I got off on a little tangent. The main thing I want to talk about is why people think they're for kids, because I'll be in a Barnes & Noble, and I was in there 3 weeks ago with Katie, and we're walking around, and I'm looking through comic books, and there's a woman who, like, her son pulls off a Batman comic off the shelf, and she goes, oh, oh, do you want this one? And he goes, yeah, and I just kind of glimpse over, and I realize it's All-Star Batman by Frank Miller and Jim Lee from the early 2000s, which is famous for the line where Batman kind of loses his mind, and sorry, Mother, if you're listening, but loses his mind and just drops the line when they say, well, why are you doing this? And he says, 'cause I'm the goddamn Batman.
Oh, whoa.
And it's just like, yeah, and he's super, like, bloodthirsty, and there's a lot of, like, really intense sexual stuff in that book. And so I just kind of, like, I felt the oldest and most, like, old man I've ever felt, but I leaned over and I was like, maybe not that one for the 7-year-old. Like,
definitely.
Maybe this one that I read growing up that's based on the cartoon. Like, it's really good stories, but it's not going to have a lot of that. Because they drop all sorts of language and really heavy content. They deal with rape in some of the books. Jeez. Like,
in a comic
really
book?
Heavy.
What in the world?
Yes. Really heavy stuff.
Are there, like, ratings on them?
Yeah. And see, but parents don't look at that.
Gotcha.
So, like, two of the big books I read that are independent books are, I've got them sitting over here actually, are Lazarus and Saga. And so Lazarus takes place post-apocalyptic world. It is the story of these families that own 95% of the wealth in the world. And there's 7 families that run the different districts of the world. And the rest of these people are fighting for their chance to work their way up in society so that they're not dying of starvation and all this stuff. It's really heavy material. And it's just the story of, like, the strive to do whatever it takes to protect your family. that's not really something that I think a kid's going to get much out of.
Yeah. Okay. And here's a question I have about that then. So,
Sure.
like, as a person who, honestly, I don't know if I've read a comic book in 15 plus years. And so because of that, and for anyone else who's listening who also hasn't, I'm just kind of like interested in, like, what is the like ratio of text to image?
It depends on the writer. Certain writers are very wordy in their writing. Some aren't. But usually in the independent comics, it is a big focus on storytelling through the art and picking your words very carefully. But then you've got guys like Brian K. Vaughan, who was a writer on the television show Lost. He has written all sorts of other books, but he writes Saga, the other series I was talking about, which the elevator pitch for Saga is it is Star Wars meets Game of Thrones. I'm not sure that I would argue that, but that's kind of what everybody's broken it down to at its base. And what it really is these two feuding species in a science fiction world. And it's about these two soldiers, one from each side of the army, who fall in love and have a child. And basically the entire book revolves around, it's all an allegory for race relations. Because it is all about racism based on a different, because they look different. And it says over and over, like, the whole reason the war started is because the species look different from each other and they couldn't handle that. And so it is very much a book about race relations and the love that these two people find, but how they have to go through all this red tape and all this war and all this hatred just because they look different from each other. And so, like, that's not for kids. I mean, and the very first page of it, she's giving birth. And, like, it's kind of graphic on the first page. And the very first line of the series is, "Am I shitting? It feels like I'm shitting." Because,
yeah, okay, so that's definitely for adults. Or at least,
right, it's not
young
written
adults.
for kids. It's sexually explicit. It's it was actually banned from Comixology for one page at one point, the digital comics resource online. Because it had a very sexually explicit page. And there's a lot of heavy subject material. Definitely not for kids. But I've seen parents who are more than happy to hand over a copy of it to their kids in the store. And I have to be like, no.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think your 8-year-old should be reading Saga. I think there are books that teach about race relations positively that would be great. And I can tell you what those are. And maybe your kid could read some of those, but maybe not Saga.
So what you're saying is, from what I can get, like, comic books, and I don't know if comic books and graphic novels are 100% the same or if they kind of have two different variations, but, like, it seems to me that it's just a different form of storytelling than even like a Netflix original series or any of those type of stuff. It just seems like a different way of producing that material, I'm guessing.
Right. And it is a much more no holds barred. They can do whatever they want within reason and even outside of reason in books a lot. I mean, there's stuff in books they could never get away with. The Walking Dead is one of the most successful television series of the last, 25 years. It's huge.
Yeah.
And it is rated G compared to the book. The book version is sexually explicit, way more. Graphically, the character who's the villain right now on the show, Negan, the whole purpose of that character, when Robert Kirkman wrote it, was he said, I thought it would be fun to write a character who every other word just drops an F-bomb. Literally every other word.
Whoa.
And he said, as a writer, I made that challenge to myself to write quality writing while keeping that stipulation in that character. And so it's really interesting, but that's another one that at stores I've seen parents hand over, like, is this the next volume of The Walking Dead you need? And I'm just like, no. Like, they may watch the show on TV, which they really probably shouldn't anyway, because the show is super, like, violent. And I'm not saying anything. I was watching horror movies when I was 9 years old, so I can't really talk. But at the same time, I mean, there were lines and there were boundaries, and I was taught those lines, and I don't know that parent's necessarily teaching or not teaching. I feel like it's my responsibility to say, just so you know, this is the material. And if they still choose to get it, that's fine. But
and I mean, that might be part of it. Like, what we talked about earlier, people just assume comics are for children, and so they're just innocently enough being like, yeah, sure, here's your next puppy magazine. And then you realize, this is definitely different.
Oh, well, every parent's response is usually like, oh, God, I had no clue. And I'm like, yeah, just a heads up. But, like, even, like, Archie comics now. Even Archie's, like, super edgy. And Archie's, like, there was some domestic something in there. Like, it got violent and aggressive. And I'm like, this is Archie. Like, this is Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Why are we making it so edgy? Like, give the kids something they can read.
One of the things that I'm enjoying most about this conversation? And that is
the fact that everybody tuned out a while ago.
No. What I'm enjoying is the image of you walking up to like a parent with the child there and saying, you probably don't want to get that for him. And the kid giving you the biggest stink eye. Like, who are you, creepy old dude? I was about to pull one over on my mom. Like, I just imagine like that kid just kind of, especially if this kid's reading a bunch of pretty adult material, just kind of looking at you and like flicking you off or something, and like just behind the mother's back. And so I just love the image of that child hating you, like it even in like their diary or journal later, just talking about this creepy old dude came up, talked to my mom, and said I can't get the books that I want to read. So that's what I'm walking away from this conversation very happy about.
Well, I try to be more discreet than that, but I'm sure that has happened a few times. Which, I guess, because it's a kid. But I'm like, why am I old all of a sudden? I'm not old, right? We're not grown ups.
Well, I mean, compared to the 7-year-old that you were just referring, people who are 10
I work with
old.
young adults, and the other day, one of them, I asked them how old they thought I was because they said something about my age. And I was like, how old do you think I am? They're like, I don't know, like 40, 45. I was like, yeah, I'll be 45 in like 20. No, not even 20 years anymore. But I'm going to say 20 years. We're going to say it's 20 years off. So there you go. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about that. Sorry, I kind of went on a little bit of a rant.
That's great. It's interesting. You know, everyone's got different like passions, and I know for a fact tons of people really, really like comic books. I mean, not just the Netflix versions of Marvel like things from the past, but people love everything to do with it. I mean, you look at like pictures from Comic-Con and there are thousands of people there. So clearly there's a huge market for it.
Right. And I think actually just for funsies, to give you a peek behind the curtain again, for some of our bonus episodes for Patreon supporters, Patreon,
yeah.
For Patreon supporters who support us at $5 or more a month, some of our bonus episodes, we're going to start doing things like that, a little different. They're not going to be your standard episodes of the show. We're going to do things like me trying to convince Chris to give the first volume of this comic book a try, or him trying to convince me to do something else, or us doing some sort of investigation into something that we are way out of our depth on. So just to give you a little bit of a preview. And so I think we're going to start winding down, if that's all right with you.
Sounds good to me.
Alrighty, let's do it. If you'd like to send us a topic for discussion or a mental health check-in, or you just have anything on your mind you want to talk about, you can send that over to us at isthisadultingpod@gmail.com.
Yeah, and follow us on Twitter at isthisadulting. Sorry, I said that incorrectly. I'm still learning our Twitter handle.
Every time.
I know. I'm just not good at this. I'm sorry. You can follow us at our Twitter handle, which is at @isthis_adulting. I'm going to get it eventually.
There it is.
You can also find us on Facebook, and please continue to subscribe, tell others about our podcast. If you can, go on iTunes and give it a rating, because the more people that provide good ratings and reviews, it's going to pop up and more people are going to be able to start listening. So we would love your help in that.
Right, and that gives us more visibility in the world outside of our little bubble. We've actually had a couple people that have found us, and we are in the process of lining up some really awesome guests right now that we're really excited about. So, and that's all because people are sharing and rating and reviewing. And so that is a huge deal, and we are super excited and super grateful for that. We're currently entirely listener supported. So if you like what you hear, please consider clicking on over to patreon.com/isthisadulting and pledging a monthly amount. Like I was just talking about, we're going to have exclusive episodes. New ones should be going up here in the next few weeks. different things, Skype dates, all sorts of things that we're going to do. So there's a lot over there that you get in return for your support. We'd like to thank the collection, as always, for the use of our theme music, The Borrowers, off their album Ars Moriendi. And that's going to do it for us here on Is This Adulting this week. I've been your best friend, Steven.
And I'm your best friend, Chris.
And remember, kids, be happy, stay healthy, and go hug someone.
Because you never know. They may just have sand in places they don't want it.
Oh, like the no-nos?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So they might need it, you know? Like if they're walking around and they're kind of like that, then you may know they got sand in weird places. So go hug them.
Just hug gently.
Well, maybe give them a little bit of shake so that sand gets out.
There you go. All right, have a good week.
All right, bye.